Hi, and welcome to the first League Two podcast. And with me today, I've got Tuna and Zygon, who are first and third in the league at the moment. I'm going to be chatting to Taff later on this afternoon, and that will come at the end of this section. So, thanks, guys, for agreeing to speak to me at such short notice this morning. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Well, you interrupted my schedule, but
I've got a few questions for you, if that's all right. So, first of all, Zygon, I guess as the league leader, the obvious question is what happened in Singapore?
well, I usually get a good, a few races practice for each weekend race, but this week, or last week even, I had no practice whatsoever on the track, and because my knowledge of F1 is pretty poor, I had no clue of the track layout or anything. So as I was racing around, I was trying to learn the track layout, and it couldn't stick on my mind, and there were so many different corners. I ended up losing my front wing about 15 to 20 times because I just could not memorize the corners and when to brake. So it was kind of a disaster, and I just really want to move on to the next race.
I can't actually imagine trying to drive around Singapore not having known the track. So actually, your 10th position sounds like it was actually, and the 1 point sounds like that was actually a good result off the back of all of that.
Yeah, I should really like learn the track before I attempt to drive on them.
Well, without paying you too many compliments, for somebody who says their F1 knowledge is fairly poor and doesn't know much about the tracks, you're not doing a bad job of leading the league at the moment. So,
Thanks.
Tuna, 4th position, pleased with that?
Yeah, somewhat. I was really fast in the dry, so in the qualifying I got third, but I probably could have got pole if I hadn't left that sector too. But then so slow in the wet. Like I started really well because Taz I didn't really have a good start, and then I was right behind Dave. Oh no, I was ahead of Dave, and I caught Justin at the end of sector 3, and so I got first place by accidentally spinning Justin. Then I got stuck in the pits for 30 seconds because for some reason the pits like glitched out, so I went from being behind Dave and ahead of Taz to being down in 4th, and I lost the place to Tazo, and then past someone else, and then Justin lagged out, and then it was just kind of a bit of a moot race towards the end. But it doesn't really matter. I don't really like the track. I don't really like driving in that kind of track, and the wet was awful. So it was, it's sort of points that help. I mean, finishing behind Taff wasn't ideal because I'll try and catch up with Taff in the title. But it happened, so it's all right.
Thanks, guys. I guess Tuna, you started off fairly quietly in terms of race position and league position, and you've almost quietly crept up the league there to be currently sitting in third. What do you put that down to in terms of your sudden improvements over the last 7 races and your consistency?
I let Sevy's brother race on my account of the weekends, so to be fair, I started quite well. Like in terms of my qualifying, I think I qualified in the top. I think I qualified 4th, 3rd, and 4th in my first 3 races. But in the actual races itself, I was terrible. Like I just couldn't. I would always just mess up one lap, or I'd stay out on the tyres too long. And I think it was in was it Spain? I think in Spain I qualified 2nd in Spain. Then I messed everything up in the lap. I think I caught Zygon, and I ended up doing a terrible lap, and then stayed out of the tyres too long. And so eventually it came down to I think Matty, obviously your boss in Ferrari, he said he just kind of gave me a lot of tips on sort of how to address things and how to take the tyres and race within your limits. And I always knew I was really fast over one lap. I think behind Zygon, I'm probably either in the top 3 of pace over one lap in League 2. It's just my consistency, which to be fair still isn't great. Like I still mess up a lot of laps. I can still be really quick over one lap. So I just tried to that consistently through. Like I think in Canada when I won that race, I managed to stay like ahead of Justin. Oh no, sorry, I was ahead of Taff for 3 laps, for like 3 seconds every lap for like 15, 20 laps, and then on the last lap where I really lost my time. But yeah, I think it's just down to just trying to be more consistent, really, and just trying to not make so many mistakes that I made at the start of the year.
Okay, fantastic. And the least said about Spain to me, to be honest, the best. Thank you. Everyone knows my feelings on that race, but there you go.
First to 11th in 3 quarters.
Thanks for that. I really appreciate reminding me. Zygon, I guess, Singapore, not great. In terms of previous races where you finished so high and done so well, the last few races have not been to necessarily your highest standard. Is this is pressure starting to get to you? Is leading the league starting to prove a little bit on a bit of weight on them shoulders?
What was last race was India. What's that? Third. Yeah, I was involved in a few incidents there. And I felt quite confident winning that, but I got caught up, behind a few cars coming out the pit, made a few mistakes. So I finished third. I was quite disappointed with that. Brazil, I won that. I think. Yeah, did I? Yeah, that was in the rain.
You beat me.
Canada, of course, was the safety car. I went. I don't think we should talk about that. And then Malaysia, Justin, I couldn't catch Justin whatsoever on that. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident going into the next few races. I've had a little personal bet with Tuna that I'd be winning the next 5 races, but he doesn't agree with me on that. But I think I can certainly win or challenge the next 5 races.
So that was going to be one of my next questions to both of you, which is after this week, 7 races to go. What are going to which races of the 7 that are to come are you most looking forward to, and which are the races that you're probably least looking forward to?
Well, like I'm not a big fan of the street tracks, and that's the one issue. That's the Monaco track. That's the one I'm going to struggle on. Like Singapore, too tight. I make far too many mistakes in a race to. I can't see myself getting through a lap cleanly, so I'm really going to have to work on that in the week after it. But Britain, I've had a few practice races this week, and I've been going all right, so I'm quite confident there. Japan, I don't know too much about. Abu Dhabi, I think I'm going to win that. Sorry to be so confident, but and Belgium, I think I've got a good chance there.
What about you, Tuna?
I think Britain will go okay. I think Silver's going to be alright this weekend. Me and Sevi done a couple of laps on it, and I've been relatively quick on it. My 1 lap pace is quite good. I don't know. I'll probably aim, if I can get a top 3, that'd be quite good. My aim is just to finish above Taff every time. It's pretty hard because Taff is just stupidly consistent. I think only me and Taff this season have scored points in every single race. So it's just annoying trying to get ahead of Taff. I'm not here for Japan. I'm actually not able to make that race. Abu Dhabi, I think top 5 would be realistic. And then Belgium and Monaco, I think, are my 2 best chances of winning. I think Monaco, I'm sounding arrogant. I think I'm stupidly quick at Monaco. It's a one track. I've always done it on every F1 game since like 1994. I remember having it on the old PS1, just doing Monaco over and over again. So I know Monaco inside out, and I know where you can push and where you can't. And sometimes they're stupidly fast in there as well. So Monaco, I'm really confident of a win on, depending on obviously if there are any incidents. Then I'm not good at USA. China's hit and miss, but then Bahrain I'm quite fast at as well. So I think there's in the last 7 races, I think there's 3 that I could potentially challenge for wins on. But I obviously we've got really fast races. But I think we've got 9 or 10 different race winners in League 2. So everyone can win a race from here. It's stupid how good everyone is. Like Goldie's won 2 races now. Dave won the race in Singapore.
Nick, it's your turn, mate.
And Nick's turn next. Justin's won races. Yeah. Anyone can win a race now, and also depends on any incidents. I think with Silverstone, there's those first 2 corners where I think on the first lap we may see a couple cars at the front getting bumped a little bit around, and I think that could then throw something up. So I think you never really know until 5 laps into the race what's going to happen. So hopefully 2. I would like to get another win before the end of the season, but I wouldn't be disappointed if I didn't, as long as I can try and finish in the top 3 again. So.
Fantastic. So you're both feeling fairly confident ahead of Silverstone?
Yeah, I think it should be quite a fun race. I think it's a really nice track. I think the pit lane is so long. Like it just takes ages to get in the pits and out. But I think it's a really nice track, and it's a really fast track as well, and it gives you an option for setup. I think I'm going to be playing with different ones from either 1 to the right, or obviously don't go to the left, but 1 to the right, 2 to the right, 3 to the right, all depend. And they give you different speeds for different sectors. I think that's sort of the thing you want to be looking at is how fast you're in the straight or how much compromise speed in the sector. So.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Silverstone. I only know it from the previous track layout, but I do like the new track layout. But the first time I played it in a while, so I enjoy it. A nice flowing track, so it should be a good race.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the corner, turn 1 and turn 2 are going to be interesting in terms of incidents, shall we say, and hopefully it'll be a relatively incident-free race, because I think we've managed in League Two to stay fairly clear for the last few races in terms of major incidents and major disagreements, which has been great.
We do well there, don't we?
Yeah. So onto that point then, if although I think it's yet to be decided what the promotion and relegation will be. How does the prospect of potentially driving in League One next season, how does that leave you?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Well, sorry, that's sounding really confident there. But I'm going to finish in the top three. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll miss racing with the if I do get promoted. I'll miss racing with the League Two guys because it's such a great atmosphere in the lobby and in the races. But it's always nice to test yourself against better drivers. I'm looking forward to it. I think I've proven I'm relatively quick and I can keep up with the League One drivers. As shown in the All-Star race, I know it was a bit of a messed up race, but I think I did all right.
Tuna?
Actually, I don't know because it's so close in the title. I think if I look at the points, Zygon's about 19 points ahead of Taff. Taff's about 18 points ahead of me, and then there's about a 20-point gap back to Tazo and that. And that sort of Tazo, Goldie, and Earl region, which is sitting behind me and Taff. So I don't know. I don't know how the title's going to go in terms of if people then get promoted. I don't know how I'd handle it in League One. I mean, I don't really do any of the test races in the week, practice races in the week, because I don't like to bum the track because then it just gets a bit boring. I can play the track obviously, but I don't like to do the track too much because it gets a little bit boring for the Sunday. So, I haven't really seen my pace compared to them, but I don't think it'd be too bad. I think a couple of my pole laps in League Two have been enough for like a 5th place or a 6th place in League One. But I don't think I'd be anywhere near the top at all. I think if I'd be lucky to get a top 10 in League One most of the time. So I don't want to say I'd go up or go down. I'm happy. I'm really happy in League Two. So I'll just see how it sort of pans out. Really, I don't really have any plans of seeing where it goes. So.
Okay, well that's great, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer some questions. I'll put in similar questions to Taff, and we'll look forward to Sunday and seeing how that ends.
Yeah, it should be good. Thank
you.
Thank you very much, Nick.